All right, moving on to learning target 5. It's Miss Moreland again. Today we're working on point slope form, which is just a different equation. It's no longer y equals mx plus b. And this one is helpful if you know a point and the slope instead of the y-intercept. So m is still your slope. Then you're going to take this x1, or this y1, excuse me, and the x1, and that gives you your point on the line. So x1 and y1 is a point on the line. So graphically, you have your slope, which is again your rise over your run. But maybe you don't have the y-intercept, but you have a point somewhere on the line. That will be your x1 and your y1. So that's the idea behind this one. So we're going to do two pretty easy ones, and then we're going to get two where we have to calculate the slope and write the equation. So first one I want you to think about, I always write it like this: y minus blank equals blank x minus blank. And I know that my point goes in the x1 and the y1 spot, and my slope goes there. So it tells me my slope is 1/2. I'm going to plug it in. And this is my x. That's my y. So y's go with y's, x's go with x's. So you're going to do y minus 4 and x minus 3. And this video you do not have to convert, but later on you will have to convert. So go ahead and try the second one. Y minus blank equals blank, x minus blank. Slope goes in front, so slope is -4. That's my x, that's my y. So I get y minus 5 and x minus a -1, which turns into a positive. Make that a nice positive. All right, so the next ones get a little bit harder. They give you 2 points, and you have to write it in point slope form. So there's always 2 different equations you can write because there's 2 different points. But the first thing you have to do is find your slope. So if you remember, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So we're going to do 4 minus a -5 on top. Remember, those double negatives turn into a positive. And then we're going to do -1 minus 2 on the bottom. 4 plus 5 is 9. -1 minus 2 is -3. So my slope is -3, but that's not what I was asked to do. I was asked to write an equation, and I'm going to write 2 different equations. So the first possible equation, all right, y minus blank equals blank, x minus blank. Or I'll write a second one. For both equations, the slope is still going to be -3. The difference being, I'm going to pick whichever point I want. So for this first equation, I'm going to use the point 2, -5. That's my x, that's my y. So it's y minus a -5, which remember turns into a positive. And then x minus 2. That's the first point. If I were going to use the point -1, 4, it'd be y minus 4. And then x minus a -1, which turns into a plus. Go and try the last one on your own. I want to see both equations just so you practice getting both of them. You would generally only have to write one, though. So the first thing you need to do is find your slope. It's going to be 2 minus 3 over 5 minus a -1. So I get 2 minus 3 is -1. 5 plus 1 turns into 1/6, -1/6. So write your first equation and your second equation. The first equation, I'm going to use the point -1, 3. Second equation, I'm going to use the point 5, 2. So slope is going to stay -1/6 for both of them. The only difference is I'm changing my x1 and my y1. So that's my x, that's my y. Y's go with y's, so 3's go there. -1 goes there. 2 negatives turn into a positive. 2 is my y coordinate, 5 is my x. And they're both going to stay minus because neither of the points are negative. All right, good.